Hey everybody, how are you today? I haven't been on here in a few days, so I thought I would pop in and say hello and let you know what's been going on around here. I'm wearing one of the dresses that I got from Temu. It's really cute. I love it. It's so comfortable, and I can't believe I got all these dresses for under $10. Just amazing. So it's really comfortable, and yeah, really enjoying these cute little dresses that I got. That long red one that I had cut up, I tried to make a decent hem on that, and I couldn't, I don't, I can't cut straight. I've never been able to. So I mutilated that poor thing, and I just decided, "Psh, I'm throwing it away, and I'm gonna order a new one because it was only like $9. So when I get paid on the third, I'm gonna order another one and try not to mutilate it like I did. It's very long, so I may just, cut off a little bit, but not a lot. My mistake with that was I tried to be funky and I tried to make like little slits in it, but it looked stupid. And after I cut it, it wasn't even, and I cut it some more, and it still wasn't even. I cut it some more. By the time I was done, it was like a mini blouse. It was crazy. So I said, oh shoot, I just threw it away and said, I'm going to get another one and I'm going to be much easier with it. I'll probably just take up the hem and actually sew it like I should do it. I could try the hem tape, but it may or may not work. It might. I mean, that cloth was pretty heavy, so it might work. So that's the story of my beautiful red dress that everybody loves so much when I showed it off. And so that's that. It's been a pretty nice week weather-wise. Um, the weekend was really nice. It was in the 70s and 80s. Today it reached 86, and I did not go outside. I'm still recovering from the weekend. It was 86 today. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 91. So I spent my weekend on my regular open mics and karaoke. On Saturday I do open mic with Camp Gme, and then on Sunday I do actual karaoke with Dietz. He goes by the name Dietz. Lovely, lovely gentleman. He and his wife, they do this karaoke thing together, and it's really, really fun. And the past 2 weeks have been really fun. The weekend before this one, he started to do something different. What he called it roulette karaoke. And he had a wheel that he spins, right? And there were different years. So if it landed on a different year, you'd have to find a song of that year. So there were 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2020s. All right, and it was so much fun looking up songs, and I knew all the ones that I looked up, so it was pretty easy. I had a good time with that. I was a little worried in the beginning, but I did great. I mean, I did Johnny Angel for the 60s. um I think I did Bonnie Raitt for 70s or 80s, and then I did Bette Midler's Wind Beneath My Wings, and can't remember the others. And then this past Sunday, we did a different karaoke roulette. What he did was he also added in certain genres like Motown, uh, movie soundtracks, TV theme shows, one hit wonders, and then he had the years, in between. So that one was really fun. I think I remember I did get a one hit wonder and I sang Hot Child in the City by Nick Gilder. I sing that song all the time. I love it. And that was pretty much a one hit wonder for him. And on the 2000s, I did Carrie Underwood's I Told You So. Um, the 80s to the 90s, I did Wind Beneath My Wings, and can't remember what the other one was, but those are the songs that I did, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And like I always say, the musicians that come onto these karaoke's are amazing. They sing so well. It was just a lot of fun on Sunday. And those two are 5 hours each. All right. And what I've been doing is I've been taking pretty much resting the whole day on Saturdays and Sundays, like taking long naps, you know. Usually I'll do my stuff in the morning, and then by 4 o'clock, I'm in the bed and I sleep until like 9 o'clock. Because most Saturday night starts at 10, Sunday night starts at 7. So I just take like a 5, 6 hour nap, which is easy for me because I sleep so much. I can fall asleep anywhere. So and then I'm up and ready and roaring to go, and I stay the whole 5 hours. So I did that both nights, but it seems like it's taking me longer to recuperate from that. It used to be I would only sleep like all day on Monday, but this week I've just been Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I've been so tired, and I think it's just the fact, by the end of the month, always by the end of the month, I'm low on food. And so we did go to the food bank last week, but it only lasts so long. Yeah, you could have dinner for a couple of nights, but it's really not enough for a whole week. And I do not eat canned foods. They're not good for you. They have high sodium. So I don't eat the canned foods, and I really don't eat like the rice and pasta. I do the pasta towards the end of the month, which I'm probably going to have to do tonight. I've got one piece of chicken yet. They did give me a big package of chicken leg quarters, and I baked them in the oven with some breadcrumbs, and they came out really good. So I've been having those every night. Plus, I got my Meals on Wheels for lunch, so that really comes in handy. I was reluctant to do that, like I said, because I am able to shop, but not always, and the food doesn't always last that long. So at least it guarantees that I get a decent meal once a day, if not, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna go get a ride from our local transport company that gives people over 65 a ride. So I have to go to the bank, I have to go to CVS, and then I'm going to go to Hannaford's and get some food. My debit card has been hacked again. I'm telling you, this is like at least the fourth time this year. I don't know how people are getting my card because I just use it basically on Amazon and Instacart, right? How are people getting my number? I don't know. But this is like the fourth time. And of course, they had to block it for a dating service of all things. Can you imagine? Somebody tried to spend $12.99 on an escort service. And I'm like, no, I'm 65 years old. I don't need an escort service. And then when I called the fraud department, they said there's a charge here for 44, there's a charge here for 39. I said, no, I didn't do either one of those. And it just happens so often. And I asked the bank, I said, all I do is use Amazon. And they said, well, it just happens. I don't know, it just happens. So now I've got to get another card, and hopefully I can get it at the bank tomorrow. The last time that happened, I had to wait 10 days to get a new card, which makes it difficult when you're homebound and you need to order stuff with your card and you can't. So I'm hoping that they can give me a new card tomorrow, right then and there. I don't have to wait 10 days because that's very inconvenient. So, excuse me, I'm very dry. So, yeah. And the other thing is, I emailed the guy who I sold my Volvo to because I was just curious if he had found out anything. So, he writes me back and he said the fuses were popping due to the bad ignition switch, which we pretty much knew, okay, because I had taken the car to another mechanic who said it's just the ignition switch, you need a new key. You might remember back in September, I was dealing with all of that, telling me I needed a new key, and then I called Volvo and they said, well, the key is 200, but it's going to be another 200 for labor. So it would have cost me $400 that I didn't have. So I just and then the car would not start, and I was going to go to New York in October of last year to see Keith at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. That trip didn't happen because of the car. And then in July, I fell on my face and really got injured badly. And I've got dents on my head. They'll probably be there for life. You can see them here, here. I've just got really strange dents on my face. I mean, it was a pretty hard. I fell on the concrete face first, so passed out from the heat. So last year was pretty bad. July I missed half the show. October, I didn't get to make it home because of the car. And then December, I was supposed to go home for Christmas, but then my cousin got COVID. So last year was a horrible year, you know. So the guy says, the fuses were popping because of the ignition switch. It took them a couple of months to get the ignition switch. They put that in. But then there was a problem with the brakes. And then there were other big ticket items, was all he said. And he said, we decided it wasn't a good car for my nephew because of the inspection problems. It would not pass inspection. So they sold it to a farmer who's just going to use it on the farm. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy that I bought that car from made it sound like he did everything brand new to the car. He was really hyping it up. I put in new brakes, I put in a new timing belt, I did this, I did that, hyped it up, and I figured I was getting a good car. He did say the only problem was the starting of the car sometimes, that you would just have to go back and forth a little bit with that ignition. But after 6 months, the ignition, I guess it just finally went bad. It refused to start. And that happened in September, right before I was supposed to go on my trip. I am just furious. That car was $3,500. He charged me $3,500 for that car. And then he would give me a song and a dance when I tried to get him to fix it. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. So I'm just so furious over that. I mean, that cost me a lot. That happened in September. I was forced to quit my job, and I was going to do that in January. I was planning on retiring in January, but I wanted to spend those couple of months, putting some extra money in the bank to give me a little bit of a cushion for when I did retire. So boom, out of the blue, I had to quit my job immediately, and it took me several weeks to sell the car. And it was just a horrible situation. And thanks to that idiot, I probably won't ever get another car. I'm never going to have $3,500 or 1,000 or 2,000 for a new car. So I am in the boondocks, but thank God for this rural community transportation agency that we have here in town. They have been a godsend. They are so good for people who are homebound, elderly people, even younger people. If you have Medicaid pays for the trips. They can take you to the doctor, they can take you to the bank, shopping, all of that. So I'm okay, thank God. Anytime I really have to go somewhere, I'll call them 2 days before and I'll make arrangements. So tomorrow I need to go to the bank to get that new card, and then I need to go to CVS to pick up a prescription, and then I'm going to the supermarket to get some food, and I'm going to start being much more serious about my food because I've got to get rid of this excess weight that I gained since Christmas. So I'm going to be going to the fruits and the vegetables. I'm just going to be getting chicken and turkey, no beef. Going to stay away from that. Salads, of course. The way I had originally lost the weight was I was doing a slim fast shake in the morning. So I'm going to get some bananas and strawberries. And then at lunch, I would have like a wrap with salad in there and some turkey and a little bit of Italian sauce dressing. And I had that for lunch. And then for nighttime, I would have, chicken or something like that. So that's how I lost the 40 pounds. So I'm going back to that now because I'm bound and determined to get rid of this weight. I want to go back to Boston sometime in the next few months to see my sister again and hopefully do more sightseeing, which is what I wanted to do on my last trip. And so my cousin came up for Memorial Day, but it was just him. And he had invited some friends up, so I didn't get to see him. But that was okay because I saw him the week before when he came up. I haven't seen my actual family in like 2 years. And I miss them so much. And I'm like, are they ever going to come back up to Vermont? I don't know. Um, it just doesn't seem like they want to. I mean, my one cousin, she and her husband got a house not a year or two ago, and they've got a pool and everything. Why would they come up to Vermont to a house that doesn't have a pool? They could have fun in their own backyard. So, and I was supposed to see them on Christmas, but my cousin got sick and I couldn't go. So last year was one disappointment after another, and it was awful. So when I saw that Louis Capaldi was going to be in Boston, I jumped on it. And thankfully I had some money so I could get it. I made my plans. I said, I'm going to Boston. I was going to save money up for the train. The train is like a 10-hour ride, okay? To do a train from here to Boston, when Boston's only like 3 or 4 hours from here driving. So my sister, recommended Greyhound. She said the buses are so much cheaper, and they are $60 round trip. The only bad thing about Greyhound is if you miss your bus, you don't get a refund. That's the only bad thing about it. You don't get a refund. I guess because it's so cheap. So when I couldn't go home that Wednesday, I lost my money. So I had to, the following week, we made another reservation for me. And I missed the train the following week, remember, when I got out of the hospital? Because everything was corded off because of the marathon. So I finally got home on Tuesday and we bought a ticket and we bought the ticket on Monday and I went home on Tuesday. So I can get down to Boston really, really cheaply on the bus and I'm coming down, you guys. I don't know when, but I'm coming down because I miss my sister. I miss Anna and Joshua. Anna and Josh. Anna and Josh. And I miss my family. And it's like, damn, all my family and my friends, they're all so far away from me, And I had wanted to move to Massachusetts, but my God, it is too expensive. Oh my gosh. And I it really is the second most expensive state to live in. Once I started doing my research on apartments and everything, I was like, dang, $1,200 for a one bedroom, $1,200 for a studio, $1,400 for rent. There is no way anybody on Social Security could live in Boston, definitely. And even in the outer skirts, I couldn't believe how expensive it was. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm staying in Vermont, you know if I ever do get the affordable housing, which I'm getting close to the top, that'll make life a lot easier, and then I can go to Boston more, do more trips and stuff like that on the bus. So I think I'm going to base all of my concerts in the future, probably in the Boston area, so I can stay with my sister and it'll be so much easier. So that'll be fun. So I believe that is everything I was going to tell you about. I did show you my dress, right? From Temu. So comfortable. And Winnie's been doing good. She loved to sit in the window and she sits at that window for hours. And I know cats love to sit in windows and it's so hot though. I don't want to get the rest of the house hot. So, I close my door and I stay in here with the fan. and I watch TV. So I think that's about it for today. I hope everybody's doing well. Oops, I forgot about my Lewis story. All right. So you know that I absolutely adore Lewis Capaldi. Keith Urban has kind of taken a back seat since I discovered Lewis. And I just love Lewis's music, his personality, and he can come. Sometimes he can be a little bit offensive with his language, but that's Lewis, and you just get used to it. I mean, I'm not a prude. I curse all the time, here by myself, you know, and that really doesn't bother me. And but he's also very vocal about his body parts and talking about sex and stuff like that, which can be a little offensive at times. And I'll go, Lewis, really? But that's him. He's funny and he curses, but he's got a wonderful heart. And I'm going to tell you about this because it's really a beautiful story. So there was an event he was doing, and this lady was online with her 9-year-old autistic son. And security told her they couldn't go in because he had to be 14 or over. And he was devastated. She was devastated. And she just took a chance and she tweeted to Lewis himself, telling him, I am outside online and my autistic 9-year-old is with me and security won't let me in. He tweets her back. Can you imagine? He tweets her back and he said, just come to the door and somebody will let you in. Don't worry about it. So they got to the door and Lewis himself brought them inside the event. Is that amazing or what? Now that's amazing. You know, he has a big heart. He's fantastic. So I just had to tell that story because I was so proud, to hear about that. He goes out of his way for people and he loves his fans, and anybody like that, you've got my heart, that's for sure. So I just thought I would end on that absolutely beautiful story. And yeah, everybody have a great rest of the day. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.